Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton's Robotic Revenge. Today we're going to be playing Patrick for the first time since episode 2. Hooray! We all know Patrick is the smartest character in this entire game. Green switches need to be ground slammed to be activated. Yeah, we couldn't figure that out before. Okay, this is Barracuda Boulevard, and I already took on this level, so I'll be right back. My sincere apologies, everyone, for that strange little interruption there. As it turns out, the game did not autosave in between these two levels, so that is why I had to redo that just now, just so that we could start this episode up. So I guess this is kind of a lesson I need to be learning more as we go through this game, is that it's not really that good at autosaving. It really isn't. But if I was to say one thing to the game creators, I'd say, good job. You're really good at this. You know how to design autosave very well. And I applaud you for that. Of course I would be if I wasn't too busy shooting robots, you know. It's not like we have been doing this like the entire game, you know. Yeah, we've been doing this like, I don't know, like 7 episodes now straight, and that's basically the whole game so far. But I'm not complaining. Definitely not. It all may sound like it, but I am not. Alright, so we got more of these button-pushing robots that really push my buttons, so we're going to push their buttons. Because that's what they're both meant for. After all, Plankton did put those buttons on top of them for a reason, you know, so that they could self-destruct. I mean, like, what grade is a villain if they can't learn to put, you know, self-destruction buttons on the backs of their robots? So that's where Plankton went right here. And with all that, let's move on. Okay, so yeah, we didn't know up until like the beginning of this episode that you have to actually press green buttons, you know, like in order for them to actually activate. So that's something I failed to learn. But also, what the game doesn't tell you is that there's actually a certain order you have to press these buttons here, and you can only learn it through trial and error. So that means that we have to do this again because I messed up there. So you want to go middle, left, then right. That's how you press these buttons here. So the game really kind of does this for like no reason whatsoever out of the blue. It doesn't even tell you that's going to do that, so I don't know, a little weird if you ask me. Now we got more of this riding platforms shite. And ahead of us we got some of these mimes. I think it's really straightforward that you should avoid these at all costs. Now for some reason if they like if you stay on the platform for too long, they're gonna all self-destruct at once, so that means they'll destroy the platform, which means you need to move on to the next one as quickly as possible. And but how would Patrick know that? Patrick is really dumb. Like he's even more he's like 10 times more dumb in the modern episodes as well. Okay. More robots. Not exactly what I was expecting, but okay. I was not expecting to get to a huge random open area and not see robots. I definitely wasn't expecting that. Okay, yeah. More and more of this whole remote shaking business, because it's apparently what's going on. It's like, it's funny, because in Super Mario Galaxy, I have to shake the Wiimote myself, you know, when something special happens. But here, the Wiimote's shaking for me. You know, how great is that? Now that is a huge step up over Super Mario Galaxy. And I would know because this game did come out way after Mario Galaxy, so it's a huge improvement over that game. I know that's really the intention they were going for when they made this game. I mean, after all, Mario Galaxy was not smart enough to have robots besides, you know, Mecha Bowser, yeah. But he was a big pushover. So they really made up for that in this game. So I finally stopped the trend of comparing this game to Valkyrie Cubano. I did a great job at it. And you know what? Since we have the ability to do so, I'm just gonna skip these turret robots, and I'm going to get this HP and then move on, because I'm really sick of this level here. I mean, I'm not. I'm just kind of complaining, which I shouldn't be doing. Okay, so we earned enough that we can probably pay for our next upgrade, which is very nice. It's 160% damage on our other weapon that I have not started using yet, except for one time. And I quickly went back to the other weapon because I found it to be much better than this one. So I might continue that trend if you don't mind. If you don't need health, you can always go back for the health checks later. I think I've seen that at least like once or twice. now since I've opened the game, and now we are Anemone Avenue. See, it's a good thing that I can actually pronounce anemone, unlike Nemo from Finding Nemo. You know, because, well, still, it was pretty funny, I guess. That's pretty much all they were going for when they made him talk like that. Just, you know, just comedy. You know, because really, that's really the only thing speech impediment is for, is, you know, because comedy. Exactly. So, recently, I have to say, I saw probably one of the worst TV pilots of all time. Okay, maybe not of all time, but still, I saw one of the worst animated, you know, cartoons that were supposed to become like full-length animated TV shows, but instead they were canceled right as soon as the pilot aired, which is really funny. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. Basically, the show I'm talking about right now is Bubsy. Yeah, apparently Bubsy was not only unpopular in the video game world, but also in the TV show world as well, because they actually attempted to make a TV show out of him, and they failed miserably because it did not make it past its pilot, and that's pretty ridiculous. But it's kind of understandable. Once you watch the pilot, you will know why it did not make it past the pilot, because the very first episode is called What Could Possibly Go Wrong, and 90% of the episode is him talking like that, and I'm totally exaggerating, but still, that's really all he says most of the time. And for some reason that turtle robot decided to land on me out of nowhere, and so noticing that I was under it, it just kind of waited patiently for me to not be under it, which was kind of funny. Like, just, okay, take your time, get out from under me so I can land and actually start shooting at you instead of like just randomly landing on you, which is really dumb and cheap and unfair, but whatever. Okay, so now we got more bridges and more platforms. What more could you expect out of SpongeBob? Actually, there's a lot of things, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about this game. And this game reeks of awesomeness. What could be said more than that? Okay, and now we got some... We've actually got a change of scenery here. We got, like, this giant ship down here that we cannot explore, which I'm kind of sad about, but whatever. Instead, we're going to explore this next platform that's ahead of us. I'm going to try and skip ahead. Yes! I did it! I did a sequence break in a SpongeBob game! Yay! Okay. Because I bet the game is actually expecting me to wait until it actually, like the platform stopped. Because it's kind of like riding a roller coaster, like, please stay in your seats or something like that until the ride ends. In the case of that platform, it did not end before I jumped out of it. Yeah, I'm so terrible about that. Okay. We got more gear collecting, more of these stupid robots with buttons on their backs. Again, that's probably the wisest thing that Plankton has ever done. I almost call him Plankton, so I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. Like, I do a lot of things that I don't have a reason for doing so, or just plain don't have any purpose at all, but still, I don't know why I do that. It's just ridiculous. Okay, so we're gonna open more chests. Again, more Kelpo. You know, really, the more Kelpo I see in this game, the more I think of that episode of SpongeBob called Waiting, where the premise of the episode is SpongeBob waiting for a free toy. And that episode is just, I'm not gonna say it's one of the worst episodes I've seen, but it's definitely not one of the most interesting episodes, because really that's all it is, it's waiting. Waiting this, waiting that. Waiting on something, then ruining your life. Yeah, those kinds of things. Okay, so before we end off this level, let's check out what we've earned, I suppose. So we have 1948 years. Nice. That was a pretty interesting year. It was like right after World War II, I suppose. So I guess people were actually kind of, you know, recovering from the really awful human conflict that occurred 4 years before. Alright, so we're going to open that. I'm going to get the battery, open this net here, which is... Isn't it really odd how, like, all the walls and boundaries are exactly the same no matter where you are, and the gates too, they're all nets? Like, isn't that just odd how they're using the exact same stuff over and over again? Like, it must be. Like, I can't be the only one who's thinking that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are. And those people who are thinking that are probably people who really, really like this game, actually. I can't think of one person who doesn't like this game. I really can't. not off the top of my head, who's smart and has a good reason for hating this game. Okay, defeating an enemy with a friend splits the reward. Friend, eh? I wonder where I could get one of those. Okay, so now we got more of this obstacle dodging and gear collecting that I'm terrible at, you know, especially the obstacle dodging part of that. So, again, I don't know why they put so many obstacles here that's almost impossible to avoid them, but I guess the premise is that you're supposed to follow the gears and not get hit by stuff. But how can you do that when the controls are so slippery? That's really what it feels like. I mean, I'm not saying they are slippery. They're definitely not slippery. Breaking chests restores some health. Jeez, I did not know that. This game keeps telling me stuff that I already know, and I'm definitely not angry about that at all. Okay. More robots. More robots. What? Is the game trying to make me make the reference to the Jelly Hunter episode? The Jellyfish Hunter episode? Where he grabs that more thing? Because it's not gonna work. Okay. Can you like please just not bring me any more robots so I can move on? Yes, I know robots are essential for me to get gears, but couldn't you like give me other places to get gears besides these barrels as well? I mean, it's not Donkey Kong Country. Barrels are not gonna give you a good excuse to give us gears. And health. Like, couldn't you put health into like something else, like robots or something? I don't know, something. Somewhere, because robots are what causes the damage to me, so maybe it would make logical sense to put some health inside of them? I don't know. I mean, this is the video game world we're talking about here. This is it. Okay. Okay, that makes the bridge go down, which, okay, it's kind of interesting details they got there. I mean, they got anchors on either side of the bridge. That's something. Definitely something. More of these pink gears. Like, who uses pink gears besides Kirby? Or Patrick? Who does that? I don't know. More robots. More. Can't get enough of more. Man, like, whoever created this must have, like, a fetish for robots or something. I don't know. It's the only logical explanation because they keep on throwing more and more robots at you. Like, it's robot after robot after robot after robot. More robots! Just more. You just can't have enough robots, can you? Seriously. Can you, like, do something, like, throw something else at me? Like, I don't know, something like a vampire or a Wolverine, a ferret, something. I want to fight something else here. And let me guess, does this have... No, it doesn't. There's no set order to hit those buttons, as far as I know. Unless I just, out of coincidence, did it right there on the first try. Okay, more chests. Destroy more robots. Yay. I was not expecting to see more robots. Definitely not. This is definitely not the most generic game I've ever played, ever. Okay. They should have, this like, you know, they should have made this they could have made this the video game port of iRobot, for that matter. I mean, that movie's like about robots, right? So this game could fit perfectly for that. Yeah, SpongeBob was not all about robots. The only game I can think of besides this, well, actually 2 games I can think of besides this are about robots are Truth or Square and Battle for Bikini Bottom. It's funny how they made Truth or Square the sequel to Battle for Bikini Bottom because the special itself, the TV special, had absolutely nothing to do with Battle for Bikini Bottom. So why make the video game version a sequel to Battle for Bikini Bottom? It doesn't make any sense at all. More buttons. More buttons. That you have to hit in a set order. Let me guess, it's this, isn't it? I thought so. Okay. That is just sweet stuff. It's so cool. Okay, I'm not in the mood to see more robots. More robots after robots. Like, game, can you ever get enough robots? I don't think so. Okay. This is getting out of hand. I need to get out of here. I need to seriously get out of this place. I need to, like, do something that's not so awesome. Like, I need something that's bad. Something that's really, really bad and generic and boring. Something that's definitely not this. Right, I'm just going to kind of wander past these robots so I don't have to deal with them. I'm just gonna go straight for the whirlpool, and pretend it's never happened. Here we go, guys. Moving on. Alright, well, we managed to not redo an entire level, just like I somehow messed up when we had that Mr. Krabs episode. So, I will see you guys next time for some more Plankton's Robotic Revenge, where we're gonna move on and hopefully not have more not so generic stuff. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.